Alright, next I'm going to move down to my solid feature symbology. And here I'm going to refer back to my spreadsheet and see what folder path I need to create. So that's going to be over here in the solids. We're going to have stormwater node under solid, and it's just going to follow exactly what I did with the point symbology structure. Okay, so we'll start building out that folder structure, and then I'll create a new feature symbology here. And then for these solid symbologies, if we're doing an inlet, we're going to be setting both a top and bottom element template. This is also true for the manholes and junction boxes. So I'll set my top element template first. And then the bottom. Then I'm going to create a copy of this and just reassign the element templates as I go through. Next, I'll do an example of a head wall. So for a head wall or a cross section, we are only going to be assigning a bottom element template only. And then I would create a copy and then reassign the correct bottom template for the next. And here I have finished building out that folder structure and then creating all the individual 3D solid symbologies. So again, for cross sections and head walls, I'm only going to have that bottom element template, never setting the default here. And then for inlets and manholes, that's where I'm going to have both a top and a bottom. Next, I'll be focusing on setting up the symbologies for the utility features. So I'll start with the connection region symbology again. So I'm going to be creating a folder under linear called utility Z, and then another folder under that called connection region. And this is where I'll create my connection region symbologies. Now I'm going to run into the same issue I did with drainage. I don't yet have the connection region templates set up, so I'll need to do that first. And then I'll also need to set up a level for this purpose. So I've created a level for the utility connection regions. If you want these to be on separate levels per utility type, then you'll just create additional levels. But I'll be using the same level for all of these. And then what you might choose to do for the element templates is just override the color if you choose to do so. Now I'll go into my default element template, and then I'm going to assign the connection region, create a copy, and continue doing this for the remainder. All right, next we'll move into the point feature symbologies. So I've created the folder structure as well as the point feature symbologies, and now for each one of these I'm going to be assigning a default element template and a profile element template. We can do this in bulk to start with, just to get to the correct folder path. And that makes it easier to assign the second one. Then I'll continue doing the remainder. Now I'll start with the solid feature symbologies. I've already created the folder structure as well as the individual symbologies for each one. I'm going to go through a few examples of setting these. So I'll start with the conflict node. I'm going to do this in bulk, where I'm going to assign just a bottom element template. And then I'll go and change the other one for confirm to the correct element template. So for a conflict node, we are only placing a node in 3D where the actual conflict exists, so we're not going to have a top and a bottom. And then if we have something like an electrical node, we are going to have a top and a bottom. So you're going to have the part of the pole that is on above the surface and then the part that is below the surface. But you could also have a node that only places a bottom. It could be more of a generic node that just places where you're going to be connecting the conduits to. So in bulk, I'm going to select them first just to get the path correct. and then I'll go in each one and set the correct element template. And then I'll continue doing that for the remainder of the solid feature symbologies.